What do you get when you have an orphan half-breed demon god, a heterochromia love interest, and an evil bunny as the antagonist? Sorry, wrong evil bunny. But it sounds like your typical shonen, right? Well, it isn't. You get Netflix's $1 million adaptation. Devil May Cry caught me completely off guard with how good it is, especially with Netflix's previous track record, the same people who fumbled Cowboy Bebop and turned Resident Evil into whatever that was. Expectations were low, but Devil May Cry blew that bar to hell, and for lack of better words, it's great. Now, what really got me with this show is thinking it was an anime, and if you go directly off what it is described as an anime, then it is, but not the Japanese style we're thinking of. It's as American as it can get, and you know it is based on the fact that the main character Dante, who is superhuman, chooses guns as his primary weapon choice, really utilizing that Second Amendment. The name of the show may sound super familiar too, and that's because they actually based this off the video game series. And just in case you're wondering, no, this did not get the 7 Deadly Sins or Ragnarok treatment. It starts off with this mysterious bunny and him retrieving the sword and immediately goes into the action. This show doesn't waste any time. In the first 10 minutes, we get lore, murder, and a bunny demon that talks like he just got off a motivational podcast run. And I swear, it sounds stupid, but he's convincingly terrifying. Not because he's a brute or anything like that, but because he's got that calm, smug energy of someone who knows how the whole story ends, and he's just watching and waiting for everyone else to catch up. And when I say action, I mean that non-stop chef's kiss choreography that actually respects the source material. But what surprised me the most was the writing actually slaps. Like, I came in expecting it to be edgy, guns, and maybe a guitar solo or two, which don't worry, you get. But there's actual character work here. Dante isn't just a demon slaying pretty boy. Okay, maybe he is, but he's also got layers, and not the forced trauma dump kind either. I mean real depth. He's a jaded type that's bored with his work, but he still cares even if he pretends not to. Dante's not the loudmouth type. He's lonely and haunted by past memories, but chooses to hide it behind guns and jokes. You also get introduced to Lady. Yes, her name is Lady, and while she could have been another side character who's just ordinary, she brings a whole different vibe. She's precise, cold, all business. But under that shell is someone who's been through loss and is done pretending like it doesn't affect her. And instead of crying about it, she weaponized it. And her dynamic with Dante is like watching fire and ice melt together. I mean, these are just a few of her lines that felt relatable.
To stop the rabbit and beat little pellets of shit down his leg is the exact fucking thing the rabbit needs to jumpstart his apocalypse, you demonic dumbass.
And then by episode 2, you're balls deep in demon conspiracies, family trauma, and something about hell's structure that makes America look like a paradise, which is a great job by Studio Mir, who follow the roots of the source material, and is another reason this show is so good. You can recognize bosses, combo moves, and even the music played in some scenes. So for someone like me who only watched gameplay, it can seem less impactful versus someone who played all the games and are reliving their childhood. Now you're a few episodes in, you've seen demons get diced, you've heard Dante crack jokes mid-fight Deadpool style, and you're starting to wonder, wait, is this actually good? Like not just Netflix good, but rewatchable good? Well, episode 4 made sure to answer that question as a yes. The show finally goes deeper into the lore and backstory of the demon and human realm's history, showing that the black and white they once thought was all just politics they've been forced to follow. Lady's entire team gets slaughtered, and now she has no choice but to turn to the demons she once thought were all evil. And that's when you realize the real evil in the world isn't the demons, it's the people running it. The vice president, like any leaders in power, preaches so much about God's grace and his vision, but chooses to follow his own path, clouded by an ignorant judgment of outdated values. And as we get closer into it, we realize the bunny isn't just a bloodthirsty demon, but a human wronged by his own people countless times. His backstory was incredibly well written, that you wouldn't even have known the story being shown was based on him. He was just trying to help the family he grew to love escape the extreme conditions of hell, but was shown no mercy because of discrimination of all demons. This plot twist was put together so well because although it was predictable, it draws connections to real life situations that don't get talked about enough. The cruelty of humanity, which can be self-inflicted. This once thought to be powerful demon bunny is actually just a human, drugged out on demon blood, looking to unleash the barriers between the worlds and create unity. And yeah, I know unity sounds noble on paper, right? But his version of unity is less about peace and more about complete obliteration. It's let's all be equal by burning the whole system down. And he truly believes he's the hero of the story. And what's wild is the show almost wants you to believe him. For a second, you're like, wait, is he kind of right? And that's the beauty of good writing, when a villain's motives make sense before their methods or means betray them. But being honest, the best part of his backstory is that it doesn't announce itself and just unravels slowly. You don't even realize you're sympathizing with the antagonist until it's too late, because he wasn't born evil, he was made that way, shaped by the pain, isolation, and rejection of his peers. You strip away the demon blood and madness, And what you've got is just a broken man who wanted somewhere to belong. Because in the end, he didn't want power, he wanted connection. But when all you've ever known is violence and prejudice, sometimes destruction may feel like the only way to be heard. Dante sees that, and you can feel it in how he holds back in that final fight, just out of understanding. Like he's looking at someone he could have been. Because up until this point, he has been the classic cool guy energy, cocky, unbothered, invincible. But after this fight, you realize that's all a facade. With the reveal of his true origins and his brother being alive, it changes character and perspectives going forward. Was it still predictable that his brother somehow survived? Yeah, but it still doesn't change my need for the answers and what his brother has been doing all this time. So when I say Devil May Cry on Netflix is a great adaptation, I meant it. It's not just flashy animations and unnecessary fan service. It's a story about identity and what it means to be caught between two worlds and still choose your own path. It has a lot of resemblance of a typical shonen at first glance, but it brings a more unique twist that feels refreshing. It gave us layered characters, firefights, an actual villain that made you feel something, and somehow they did it all in under 10 episodes. The pacing definitely deserves more credit because it flowed well for just 8. Netflix greenlit the second season, so I'm more excited to see the continuation of this project because this isn't just a good video game adaptation, it's one of the best examples of how to respect a legacy while telling a real story. So whether you're a diehard fan of the game or just looking for something good to binge, Devil May Cry is absolutely worth the watch.